Is it live? Oh, hi everyone. We are live. Welcome.
Let me see. I can access it on my own.
Yeah. So right now we are waiting for you all to join our beautiful Fig Jam. We're here with Min, Max, Monvi, and me, and also Jenny coming soon to give some portfolio roasting today from the portfolios y'all roasted. We also have some portfolios you guys submitted earlier before, and we'll be sharing more like portfolio insights on how you can improve your portfolio, make it super cracked AF, and giving some insights as well. Hello.
All right. Can everyone hear me?
Yeah, we are live.
Awesome.
Hey, Jenny.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
They had a newest member.
Yes. Before we get started, as we wait for people to trickle in, where is everyone from? Where is everyone based?
Y'all can drop a stamp in here.
In the Fig
Do we
Jam?
have? Yeah. Do we all have access to the Fig Jam link?
Yeah, let us know in the comments section on LinkedIn. You should be able to see the chats on LinkedIn as well. It usually takes a couple of minutes for people to join. Let me double check this as well. I'm just trying to see the LinkedIn event. Oh, wait, we're live. Oh, there's like 40 people watching us on LinkedIn right now. So the
Nice.
count on the
Yes.
StreamYard is actually like YouTube, but there's 42 people, 33 people on LinkedIn today. And then there's also like a 30-second delay between what we see here and what we see on LinkedIn. But would love to know, where are you all based, and what do you like hate about the job search? Like, what pisses you off? What makes you like really mad? What is so beta energy? I see
Or yeah.
Janice from New York, Sweta from Michigan, Hannah from New York, Par from India, RJ from San Fran, Toronto, San Francisco, Italy, Seattle, San Fran, Toronto. Nice. We got 3 continents so far.
Ooh. Let me drop mine from the Midwest. Currently, I'm gonna move to
Yeah.
SF real soon.
Soon
Y'all.
then.
And I'm gonna comment the link to join the Fig Jam. Y'all should have got it when you if you register for Luma, but just in case you guys are seeing this on your LinkedIn feed, I will give you guys the link again on my lovely LinkedIn.
Right, nice. So we have like several portfolios submitted, but we took on a first come first serve basis. So we took 5. In the case that you are don't see your portfolio getting roasted, wait till next session. We have one next week coming up, and yeah.
I see, can't find the Fig Jam. I dropped it again on my LinkedIn, on the Design Buddies LinkedIn page. If you guys have trouble, just DM us on Discord. I'm gonna drop it again on my personal account as well. It is the Fig Jam link that I'm linking on LinkedIn. Um, so it should be on Luma and our Design Buddies Discord general chat as well. And I asked people, like, what pisses you off of the job search? So fake jobs, scams, yeah, that sucks. It's so like horrible how people like literally like bait people's fears and giving their personal information and scamming them. That's like so skibbity Ohio Riz. Um, I'm like
Great.
talk like a Gen Alpha. So yeah. Oh, hi Josh. Skills jobs or sponsorships, companies doing design challenges to get work done for free. Yeah, that's. So I realize you're from Ohio, but hi everyone. Awesome. We have a good crowd going on our lovely LinkedIn.
So a more specific question: instead of state, what settings are you guys tuning from? I'm tuning in from a coffee shop because I have to go pick up some friends and family. Where y'all like sitting in? Is it an office? Is it like a dorm room or what?
Here's some background noise. But I am in my room. This is the last LinkedIn Live I'm doing actually in this room because I am moving on Monday to a bigger and better house.
Love that. That's so exciting.
Thank you. TLDR, I'm too demure to be a landlord. That is all.
Okay, one more frustration answering interview questions on a DM message.
There's some background noise.
I think it's mine. It might be because I'm at a coffee shop. So
That's fine.
let me.
I see people posting mostly US, India, Europe. I'm gonna add I am from SF too. There we go. Cool. So you want to move up to goals for today, Min?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Yes. So, what's your goal for today? Go ahead and grab a sticky, type it in, or you can trauma dump about your design horror stories. So Grace can have something to work with for later, and yeah.
Yeah. Are you trying to land your first job? Are you figuring out if you need to include personas? Or are you getting ghosted? You want to figure out how to stand out? Figuring out how to structure your first case study. What are some of your goals for today? Let us know in the sticky notes as well.
Grace can have something to work with later, and yeah.
We have like 100 people on LinkedIn Live, which is beautiful. I love to see it on a Friday. Y'all are definitely way ahead of your game for tuning into us on a lovely Friday.
God, I'm gonna go screenshot this. Oh, this is so wholesome.
I know it. I know, right? Yeah, put it on my story.
Yeah. So we can each kind of like introduce ourselves while people are doing it, so we can save some time. Grace, go ahead first.
Oh, yes. Hello, everyone. I'm Grace. As you're tuning, I see a lot of people just joining. Let us know where you're tuning in from and what pisses you off at a job search. But I'm Grace. I do a lot of random things. I founded Design Buddies 5 years ago. And since then, we have grown a lot to over 150,000 members. We also have CoCreate and UX Go now. So we do design cohorts, we do events, we do design challenges, and talent. So we help match designers and jobs. We're also building Fluffle, which is our B2B SaaS settings for bunny to bunny SaaS. Yeah, I mostly run Design Buddies, and I also have a podcast on the side about how creators make money. And I talk a lot about like community building, marketing, business, design, art on LinkedIn and Instagram. So feel free to connect with me. I'm also based in San Francisco and LA. I go back and forth, so I can't decide where to live. Yeah, how about you, Ben?
Hi everyone. I'm the person who's sharing the screen right now, so as you can see, I'm very brave. So I'm a cohort 19 student, alumni now, and I'm currently working full time at CoCreate as a content designer. And I'm very excited for everyone here. I started my journey in design actually from following Design Buddies and actually UX Go. And from there, I keep involved in a lot of programs and somehow find my way into big tech design. And I currently am in love with design. So yeah, that's my story.
Design loves to
Manvi.
give.
Manvi, let's go.
Thank you.
Wait, Min, do you mind muting if you are not speaking? 'Cause I
Yeah,
think,
yeah.
yeah,
Let me
thank you.
mute it. Let me mute myself.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Hi everyone. I'm Manvi. I was an ex-alum as well. I think like I think it was like last year. I joined UX Go and now I'm an alum and I used to help them with the internal stuff before I started my own company now. I'm a product designer at Pfizer as well, but now I'm working on my own company called Nomi. I will put a link if it's something like that excites you. Go look at it. Follow me for more updates. We're all doing something really cool, and I think UXGo is doing something really cool with CoCreate and everything. So be more involved, designers. We're really here to help you all. So nice to see all of you here. And also, I was literally telling Min how I woke up on the wrong side of the bed today. So I'm not gonna go easy. Awesome. Okay, over to Jenny.
Awesome. Hi, everyone. My name is Jenny. I'm based in Seattle, Washington. I am currently working as a UX content designer at Meta, so it's been pretty cool just getting into all of these things. Overall, big tech has been a pretty surprising route for me. I come from a background that is completely non-tech. Came from a political science major, so everyone's like, oh gosh, what are you doing here? But I'm happy to talk more about that if you're curious. And yeah, I got recently involved with Design Buddies and UX Go and had a really great time participating in the cohort that you might be interested in. Heads up, for cohort 20. So yeah, happy to be here. And then I'll pass it off to Max to round us up.
Hey everyone, my name is Max. I was a cohort student for the previous cohort. Currently product design and stealth AI, which is the company I was involved during the cohort. And after the cohort was done, the founder decided to hire me. I'm out of Washington, D.C. Yeah, just excited to roast all of your portfolios. And if you would like to connect it anyhow, just follow the LinkedIn. I think that's the best way.
Okay, so let me just speak, open my mic whenever I need to speak. So if you have any questions, whatever, drop them here. But we're gonna go ahead and start roasting portfolios before we give you insights. So over here, you can see that we have several criteria, and we're gonna spend maximum of 5 minutes on each portfolio because that's exactly how it works in the real world, And we're gonna look at first impression, how impactful we think the portfolio seems to be, storytelling of it, and the personality that we see from the portfolio. So yeah, Grace, can you please take over for the next portion? I'm gonna mute my mic and give people a smooth experience.
Yeah, we'll do that. Let me open up the portfolio really quick. Also, if you haven't seen, let me should I share my screen? I can share my screen. Let me just open it up. Yeah, close my tabs, share my screen. Oh, do you want me to share my screen, or did you want you to share your screen?
You can go ahead and share the screen. Yeah, I'm gonna give it to you now.
Okay, sounds good. Let me just share. Sorry, wrong tab. Sharing. Present. So if you guys are just joining, let us know what are your pain points, and if you can't access the FigJam file, it's on. Okay, sorry, I'm like trying to do two things at once. Chrome tab. There we go. Okay, this should be good now. So, yeah, feel free to, if you're just joining now, let us know where you're tuning in from on the FigJam. What is your goal for today? Any questions you have, we'll cover them towards the end, and take a picture, a selfie of yourself, and connect with each other on LinkedIn. Yeah. For the first portfolio, we have Janice. So over here, we have the link to Janice's portfolio. So feel free, share this tab instead. Feel free to add that one. So I guess did you want to lead this? Or, okay, so we're going to go through what is the first impression, impact, storytelling, creativity, and personality. So I'm going to scroll through Janice's portfolio. Janice, also, if anyone has any feedback, feel free to chime in as well. So Janice clearly lays out her projects here. How might we help the founder track what sign-ups on board parents?
So let's go with first impression first, I would say. What do we think about first impression?
Something that I noticed right away, I like the simplicity. I think minimal style, if that's something you're going for, that's definitely you're hitting that. Something that maybe you should think about is adding a little bit of personality to it. I think maybe it's just a little bit too minimal for me personally. Yeah, that's for first impression.
Yeah, I agree. And I feel like I would love to know a bit more about the years of experience, some previous things that they worked on as well, just for more impact in their, subtext.
And she has it on her about page, 2 years of experience, which is good. I like the summary.
the chances that somebody gonna go to About Me, I feel like pretty low unless they're very interested in you, is already really interested in you based on your case study, then they will probably go into About Me. So that's something definitely you want to display on the main page.
Mhm.
Yeah, on that point, I think there's a really nice balance between a lot of personality and being really intentional in what you want to say. You know, About Me, you can use for a lot of like, these are my hobbies and this is what I do outside. But then for the homepage, in that 2-3 seconds, try to really emphasize like, I'm a creative designer or I'm a very intuitive designer, something that really speaks to what you might bring as value or like as a partner in that kind of project.
Yeah.
Hi, team. We have 2 more minutes on this portfolio, 2 or 3 more.
I
Let's
want
dive
to
into a
just
case study. Let's go to the first one.
can I highlight something on the main page that I think is like super important? And when I look through all the portfolios we're gonna go through today, I didn't see in any of them the easy way to contact you. You want it's part of the good user experience. If they want to reach out to you over email, maybe LinkedIn, that's kind of the way you do it. I saw you also have a contact form. I would say contact forms, they break so much. So if somebody is going to reach out to you through the contact form and something on the Webflow end and it doesn't get to your email, that's going to be really sad, because maybe you potentially would have landed a job, but because just junky contact form is just hard to do. So I would put something like my email, my resume right away, so if they need to reach out to me, they can. But I guess LinkedIn works too.
Let's dive into a case study. Let's do the first one, assuming this is the one she's the most proud of. Legacy Music School.
I feel like I would want like a bigger elaboration on what it is. Like, what did they do to help? Like, I helped this thing like do this and got this impact. Like, yeah, just a little bit more, because I don't know if I would even like go in if I don't have that kind of information. Like, you're trying to give as much as possible in the first 20 seconds of browsing. So yeah, be mindful of that, I guess.
I do like how you highlight the process, the research. Is that clickable? Can you click on it? The 1, 2, 3,
Yeah,
4?
on top, right? Yeah, that was
Oh.
interesting. Oh, I
Oh,
like
cute. I love this.
That is
Yeah.
really good.
Oh,
I think
this
it's
is so cute.
very scannable, really easy.
Yeah.
I look before the live stream through this case study. I love it. I think something that you probably would benefit from is from more complex problem, because it sounded like the problem was just people needed to be added to a wait list, and then for the founder to be able to track it. Although it's a problem, if you have a more complex problem to solve, it just shows more of your skills as a designer to work within constraints, or maybe you say why these decisions are more important than the others. So far, what I can see from here, we have a problem. We need to design a wait list. We designed a wait list. Here it is.
Yeah, I can tie it into money. Like, how much money is the founder losing for not losing track of whitelist? Yeah.
Yeah.
How much time is it saving?
I'm actually intrigued to see what Jenny's thoughts are.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we should move on to the second portfolio.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jenny, do you want to share any feedback as well?
Yeah,
Again.
sorry. I think my internet was being weird. But yeah, some quick fire things here. I think one of the things that we want to be mindful about is your portfolio is also like, think about the user experience of it. When you put someone in there, are they getting the information they need at the top and then going in like a very like structured way down? For this portfolio, I think, or this case study, I think it did great. One little just like a nitpick as a content designer is, if you want to keep with the same like sentence casing or title casing, make sure it is consistent throughout your entire portfolio, because you don't want one to be sentence casing and one to be upper casing on every single word. And on the timeline, it says October to deck for the shorthand of December, try to make sure that there's consistency in all of that as well. Not to be bogged down by details. Don't feel like you need to get everything perfect. It's just your first impression is going to go a long way into showing like, hey, I care about the details. I care about what I want to present, and really emphasizing on those big points. One thing I don't know, this was just my preference. I feel like maybe the text can be smaller in the beginning. I think it takes up a lot of the space and just requires the recruiter or hiring manager to scroll a little bit more into like the bulk of it. It might be good to really emphasize like, hey, just kind of do more of a horizontal format and really bam, bam, bam. This is the value that I brought. I know that was rapid fire, so thanks for your hanging on to that.
TLDR in 30 seconds, I think there should be a metric, like how much money are you basically saving or how much more revenue are you potentially generating with this, because they want to see numbers. And it's like kind of hard to follow along, like what is the storyline between this. Like I don't know why the style guide is in the research section. It should be maybe towards the end. In ideation, like what did you ideate on, and what decision did you make to go to your next step? It just seems like a lot of random screens together. So focus on the storyline, like taking the user through what is the journey, how did you get, like a story, like what was the setting, what was the goal, what the outcome, and like how did you get there. But yeah, I think we should move on to the next portfolio. But yeah, good start. So portfolio 2, we're going to look at Sam's portfolio. If you have access to the FigJam link, it is the second one. Oh, this is Sam's portfolio. I love this. This is great. This is like a great TLDR.
I don't think it's showing on the shared screen.
Oh, sorry. Share this tab is set. Okay. Yeah, so Sam, this is like really great opening. It's like a TLDR of what you do.
I agree. I really like how like the context is already like set in the first thing. Like you know about them before you even go into
Yep.
like yeah. And the metrics are good, showing how much experience, what you have worked on before, what kind of niche do you like, and all that is really cool. And I like the simplicity of this portfolio. Like the little bit of animations going on, but like maybe a photo or something just to like pop this like first impressions UI. A little bit like of a pop would be great.
Yeah, I would say the UX product designer title below, like the name on the hero section, UX product designer right there, maybe a bit more context to it, or maybe just have the hero statement instead of that. I don't really see like a lot of functionality in that line particularly, but I love like the hero statement. Yeah.
What do you guys think about UX design versus product design on your portfolio? Should you talk about yourself as a UX designer or product designer? Because I know, at least in my experience, it's like the same thing in the job, just in like the job, on the job itself.
Yeah. I was going to say that like UX and product designer, personally, maybe that's just on me, but I've never seen that term together. I've seen UX UI designer or product designer, but that's just the whole thing. But yeah, Jenny, sorry. You can jump in.
Plus one to that, I think. Oh, sorry. I think product designer or UX designer, it can be used interchangeably depending on the business goal or like the company size that you're in. For example, Meta is very product focused, so they call it product designers, as opposed to Google, where it's like UX design. One thing to note just on this conversation as well, when you're using like UX/UI, I really want to advise you against it, just because I want you to be intentional again with what you're trying to provide. Are you like focusing on the UI, the visual aspect of it, or are you really into like the UX and the user, like the psychology of how people use certain products? And to Min's point about the eyebrow or the little tagline of UX product designer, I think that's good, but then you repeat it a few times on the bottom as well with all of your case studies. I think if you're really trying to focus on like, I am doing design, then we already kind of got that from your first tagline. So you can just take out little bits and pieces there. When you go into the case study, you can speak a lot more about the role that you have taken.
Great.
That's a good idea.
Let's dive into a case study. Let's do the first one, Unearth.
Also on the main page, something that like to, because you made this on Webflow, I was checking it out on MacBook Air, which is a smaller screen and it's not responsive. So all of the images you had there, they got squished. So like then have a good look. But
Yeah, and mobile friendly is important. Like, of course, do what you can, but one good rule of thumb too is if you can make things mobile friendly, then you can definitely just expand it out to be desktop adaptable. So try to make sure that you are considering that, because some recruiters might be on their phone because they're going from LinkedIn directly into your portfolio, and you want it to be a very fluid experience.
Let's dive into a case study. Do the first one, Unearth.
I really like the first tagline, like how I transformed, like what they did, and that shows so much impact. And I'm like, oh, I'm already like interested in seeing what's more. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I agree. I think like what recruiters are looking for, they're not even specifically looking for a problem or whatever what you're doing. They were looking for your impact as somebody who is a UX designer. What change did you bring? So like highlighting it right away, that's a good way to go about it.
And honestly, I would start by kind of like saying like what you did, role, what tools you use, duration, all that in the beginning before you get into the problem.
I wonder if you can make this horizontal, like two different cards, like problem, solution, and outcome, and then going to like another separate card about the overview, team, scope. That might be really good to just chunk it out so people can see like what each one is representing. But yeah, really like the fact that you said straight up, like, this is what I did, this is what I proposed, and this is the impact that I've made.
What do you guys think about having an overview at the end? I'm not sure, is that an overview of the project or the context, or is it like what we have done?
That sounds like a conclusion. Yeah.
Okay, never mind then. That's perfect.
But you should reword it into conclusion.
Yeah, reword it because like you didn't catch that, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I thought overview is something, okay, here is the overview of the project. This is the setting. This is the context.
That's usually what it means. So definitely like reword it. And I would reword it as like, I mean, outcome and overview, kind of like the same thing. I would just put it as impact or something that's very obvious and people will want to look more into it.
More numbers. You should be setting the scene. Like, what was the problem? What was the answer or the solution, and taking the user through. Okay, discover. It's very wordy. I would plug this into Claude to shorten this. Or like shorten it. If you
I would shorten it like crazy.
Yeah, it's very long.
Or at least
I want to read through this.
Or at least if you're gonna use some, like if you absolutely have to use text, which probably you don't, but if you have to, you can probably highlight the most important words or their most important few words or section, so people can, when they scan it, they automatically drone to that sentence, which I think can help with the story.
Okay, cool. Should we move on to the next one?
I will scroll to the rest of it really quick. TLDR is like, I see a lot of artifacts on here. I would summarize all these like sticky notes, user flows, and add like an appendix section if you want to showcase those, but just summarize what you see here, because it's very long. And if I were a hiring manager, I would just like click off if I didn't see the impact of it.
And like, and also like if you're applying for a design role, I would just like to just jump to see your design decisions. That's it. I would not care about how you like, I wouldn't care too much about how you got there. I would just like your insights and how you use those insights for your decision making. And the decision part is something I'm not seeing in this. So that would kind of make or break for me.
It could be there, but it's just very long, and you should utilize appendix sections. All right, ready to move to the next one? Any other feedback before you hop to the next one? Cool, but good start. Let me share. Oops, I actually stopped sharing. This one. Okay, should just tap and step. Cool. So for those of you just joining in, we see hundreds of 120 people on LinkedIn. Actually, so we're on our Fig Jam. If the Fig Jam link is sent on Discord and your Luma, and we are going on to Portfolio 3. Let's do it. How long do we have for Portfolio, by the way?
I would say we actually have time for 2 more, and then we can move on to like some questions, Q&A. Yeah, with the portfolio stuff. But keep it like real short, guys, like 5-6 minutes.
Okay. So this is Maheen's portfolio.
I don't think the screen
feedback?
is sharing.
Yeah. Not
Oh,
showing up.
sorry. I'm gonna share this one. Okay. So this is my Heens portfolio. This is the homepage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would not put the bootcamp graduate thing on there.
Definitely.
No, butt fly.
Take that off. That's gonna like put you back.
But right away, I feel I think it's just fire personality. Right away, you can see if there's
I like this
style.
approach. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel it, but the personality I feel in the beginning in the main page, and this is like a little different. So I would like be a little more consistent.
I think they have a dark mode too, if you can test that.
They do, yeah.
Oh, cute.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
So
I like
good.
it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would keep this consistency about like the about me page everywhere else because the gradient is not working just in a visual sense.
Also, I like the animation, but I don't know how like impactful it is here.
Mhm.
I think maybe you can play around with some other thing as well. Like the just vertical overlay like up onto the next one was kind of odd for me, but after I got used to it, I was like, oh, this is pretty neat.
Mm-hmm.
But I think maybe that would work better if you had more than 2 case studies, so you can kind of see like a consistent like book page flipping kind of effect.
Mm-hmm. And also just the same thing as on the first portfolio, I feel like there's just no clear call to action. Like when the recruiter lands on your page, you want for them to easily contact you, and I don't feel like there's anything that makes it easy for them to do. So there's no button, no email.
We can dive into the case study. Gamers.
Ooh, one note, I have had this experience before when I was hiring for interns. Sometimes if your portfolio is like really cool, you got all these fancy animations and graphics in there, sometimes it might affect the latency. Like it might not load. And if it doesn't load, then recruiters don't know what you're wanting to show. They don't know exactly what your like designs were. And it's just very tedious to try to like wait for this website to load. So try to make sure you check on it, like go check it on your phone, check on incognito mode, something to like get used to like how it would actually react with a stranger or like a new person visiting your website.
Yeah.
I must say I do love your visuals. Maybe just
The
needs
color red and green is a bit, I think, not working in a dark mode. I would say. It's a bit dark in from what I see. Yeah, go ahead, Max.
Yeah, maybe it needs a little bit of work, but I think if you want to go for interaction design, this is I believe this would be a great portfolio. There's a lot of interaction going on there. So yeah.
Yeah, it's really clean. I love the design, like the visual design of this. Some boot camp.
But I could see like the alignment. Some of them is like a straight alignment. Some of them is like left alignment. So I would make that way more consistent as well.
I think also like so it depends what you're shooting for, right? If you're shooting for some kind of agency, I think this would be good because a lot of agencies, they're looking for that personality because they work with different projects, and this is really good. If you're looking for big tech type of jobs, maybe, you just have to think about the philosophy, how you want to present your work that would align with the way what they're working on and developing. So.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Like how you adjust your resume or like the things that you highlight, sometimes your portfolio can tell a different story of your strengths or your interests. So if you're specifically have like certain goals, like I want to join, one of the mamas or one of the startups that are happening, like you need to really be intentional about what are the things that you want to show. Is it very metric focused? Is it very user focused? Like what's that? What's the thing that drives you towards UX?
Yeah.
Great. Do you guys want to hop to the next portfolio? Let's do it. Portfolio 4. And then we have questions and we can share a bit about the next cohort coming up, which you're totally welcome to apply to. Highly recommend. But let's do some more portfolio. So this is Zishuan's portfolio.
I love the grid that's going on. I love that.
Wow, nice.
A little bit like everywhere. Alignment is a little bit of a thing, but I love the personality that's coming out.
Somehow I feel like a lot of all like the elements are really tight together. There's not a lot like vertical spacing, so I would say like increase on that. But yes, definitely love the personality. The font, I think it's spacebar grotesque or something like that. I think I love it a lot.
Yeah, definitely play around with the spacing because that's a little bit like not. It's too much.
Yeah.
I love it. Let's dive into a case study. Oh,
I would add more for the about me page, like more about you. Bring out all your personality there, right? So this is a great place to show everything about you. So actually I've heard that like a lot of recruiters actually the first thing like they do is they go to the about me before they go into a case study.
Mm.
If they actually like yeah, they did a lot of A/B testing and a lot of them go into the about page as well. So yeah, especially for startups.
There's some weird spacing going on, like in the skills include Figma, Framer, and design. There's some like After Effects not space, Figma is not capitalized. So like yeah, spell check and like keep it consistent.
Yeah, and I think this is intentional, like the cut off letters here and there, like in the home page, when you first land, the design on the end is like an A. If it is intentional, just be mindful. But I think that might be something that as a designer, as a recruiter for design, they might think about like, oh, are they not looking at buffers, or are they not looking at like the boundaries of certain what is it? Typography and things like that. And that too, like that spacing there, I don't know, maybe if you can pull it up just to like really follow up right after your picture, just like tighten things up, and I think it'll be great.
Yeah. Double check responsiveness, then the tabs go away here. There's a lot of extra space here, but just quick fixes.
Yeah, I wonder to look into how many recruiters actually looking at portfolios from the phone, because I would imagine a lot nowadays, especially if you just scrolling through it. And especially like in our day and age where most people use they access internet through the phone, that just tells a lot about you as a designer when there's no responsiveness.
I see a lot of different types of projects on your page, which is awesome that you love doing so many things, but it's hard to tell what kind of role you're looking for. I see like AI-powered creativity, I see logo, graphic design, I see UI UX design. So if you're recruiting for like a job, you should focus on either UX, graphic, etc. But it's cool that you have all of it. You can like consider having like a playground section for other stuff.
True.
Do you guys want to dive into like one of the UX case studies or the first one?
Is it?
Yeah, let's do one UX. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Airbnb
okay, I'm going to see the
redesign.
first UX one that pops up, the Airbnb redesign.
Yeah, that should be fun.
Airbnb personal projects. What do you guys think about app redesigns?
I think it's, especially as someone who's like getting into UX and starting to understand the different like techniques, I think it's great. Like you're using it as, or you're kind of taking in the impression of like, hey, I found an issue with it. Like for example, Sephora's app is having a lot of problems. You're like, hey, I want to fix it in certain ways. So you're thinking about the design, you're thinking about the user perspective, and you're actually like self-starting and self-learning in that process as well. So it's really great for like reflections or insights that you have learned from there. And yeah, I don't think you should feel limited about the size of these smaller projects. Anything can be an experiment, anything can be an exercise for you to like strengthen those muscles on UX and design.
Yeah, I think the downside of redesign again is it's obviously it's not a real project, so there's no constraints. You don't understand what maybe Airbnb was trying to do by what they did, and why they did it that certain way. So that could be a challenge as well when it's everything is hypothetical. But I mostly also agree with Jenny. You shouldn't limit yourself, but be mindful.
It's a good first case study. My first case study I ever did was actually Discord's redesign. And it helped me land my first UX design job at EA, Electronic Arts. So it's not a bad thing.
There you go.
Yeah. Cool. Any other feedback on But let's dive into the case study a bit more. So basically, trying to fix bad reviews for Airbnb. I think this is unnecessary. It's cute, but it's too much. You should integrate some numbers, like potentially do some like research on how this is impacting the business, potentially like how many users and like how much revenue they could potentially be losing with bad reviews.
I would say I see a lot of inconsistency in like the width of like the whole case study. It's kind of like distracting the flow of the eyes a lot. So like some image are like center, some image are like use a whole width, and there's a little bit lack of hierarchy in like the type, because I don't see like anything to stand out to me as a problem statement. I would not like read into the text that much. So yeah, definitely make use of some more like typography, highlight, some hierarchy. Yeah.
Yeah, think about the information architecture of your portfolio and that case study. Like the couple other portfolios that we've seen, they have like a clear, like, this is what happened, the different phases of projects that we've gone through, or the specific stages that they have like experienced as ideation, research, I think that'd be great. And having it as like as part of your overview on the top as well gives recruiter a good sense of, oh, did they go through the different like checks and balances? Did they think about different like perspectives or approaches to this specific problem? Also,
Yeah, I
I
agree.
noticed. Oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I noticed that there's a picture with like bunch of red circles, and I thought it was a picture, but I think it's like overlaid on it. I think it's near the top.
This one.
This one?
Yeah, I was like trying to just see how this works. I don't know how you did this, but maybe just consider just making this into a picture or putting one picture on the side and then having like A, B, C, and then having text on the side that says like what each one is. I think that too also just shows your like prowess as a designer and as a communicator.
Also, I think if you're gonna do app redesign, you want to validate it with people, with some users, because you want to show that you didn't just do a redesign. You took it to a real world and you saw how people responded to it. Was it something there about that? Because I didn't see it. Yeah, just conclusion. So yeah, if I had some kind of redesign, I would take it to people, maybe to friends, and just collect their feedback. Is it better? Is it actually improved their experience? And I would put it into my portfolio.
Yeah, I agree. I can't see your converge and diverge and converge. You don't need to repeat the double diamond. Lee, don't make it a textbook answer. I don't know what the screens are mean. Yeah, this doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I think you rely on the photos to tell the story, but then sometimes the content around it really helps people understand it. Again, there's a balance to everything, but making sure that you really say like this is, the first iteration, or this is the user research, or the before and after to really guide the recruiter through your portfolio and case study would be helpful.
Yeah, I agree.
Sure.
Really quickly before we wrap, this is my Discord bookmark case study. I did this literally like 6 years ago. Now, 5 years, 6 years ago. But it's like an example you guys can reference. This helped me get a job at EA. It's like I shared like research, insights, takeaways, and I also like talked to people about the problem they were having. This is like embarrassingly old, but it did help me land my job. So this is like an example of like a case study that I did for like a redesign that you're totally welcome to reference. But let's hop into questions. Oh, you guys want to share a bit about the cohort and then dive into some more questions?
Yeah, sure. We can share about the cohort first.
Yeah. Okay,
And
share my
then
screen.
yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, I can share the reason why we
Yes.
designed this product as a team. So Cohort 20 is simply not a course. It's not a boot camp. We don't want to sound like a marketing project, but essentially we're trying to design this Cohort 20 experience to solve your problems as someone who doesn't have real internship experience, or someone who still need like, oh, where can I have my hero project? Where can I find that project that's going to show my impact and my ownership and my leadership as a designer? And so this is our cohort program. So you essentially work 10 weeks with a high impact startup in the Bay Area, and you're going to work in a teams of, I say five teammates who are going to be from different backgrounds, different skill levels, and you're going to learn and grow with each other. And yeah, you can read up about us in the Fig Jam. We have a link right there. That's all the info you need to know. But here you can have like a Q&A, ask us anything about the cohort experience, and we get answers for you. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely join. If I were to go back in time and learn UX design, I would totally do this because I feel like there's a lot of like people who a lot of boot camps that are kind of like, this is not a boot camp, it's a cohort, like kind of like are kind of sus because they charge a lot of money and they promise you to get jobs, and then their stats are from them hiring their other students. But we also recently hosted we also hosted our CoCreate conference recently, and we have links to recordings of our student demos. Max was one of our lovely students, Min as well, Mondi was our previous student as well, and Jenny was our lovely coach. So we would love to see you. We are interviewing people on a rolling basis, and we're gonna have our next cohort starting late May. So if you guys want experience working with a startup, I personally vet all the startups. They're all VC backed. We have a lot of designers who went through this program and got hired at these startups because I vibe check them. They're usually my personal friends, so I vibe check pretty hard. Our next cohort starts late May, so definitely apply today and you'll get interviewed and then enjoy.
Yeah, I also, if you maybe like me, who I transitioned to UX design from a completely unrelated field, and I was considering maybe I should go to school and get education, maybe a CI degree. And once I started to think about it, think about you're going to go to college, spend whatever, 5 years, probably 6 years for a CI degree, or maybe 2 additional years to get the master's. You're going to spend probably 60 to 100 grand, maybe more. And then you're going to come out, and I had 2 or 3 people in my cohort who just finished their HCI degree, and they still need the experience. So they were kind of in the same boat as me, who didn't have any degree. And this is such an amazing value for, you're just getting a ton of value, a ton of experience working with engineers, with founders on a weekly basis. You ask them questions, you learn a lot. You work with a coach who is also kind of like a PM. So yeah, just unbelievable value for just the time that you spend on it.
I agree. I see some questions. Yeah, I dropped the link to my case study, and yes, it is remote. Yes, international students are welcome.
Yeah, my team actually had 2 international students, so we were flexible with the time zones. We wanted to make sure that everyone had a voice, everyone had the time to like really put their best work and their best like collaborative spirit out there. So if you're interested, definitely check it out, because I think it's such a good experience overall, just really pushing you into just redefining like what you would like to do as a UX designer, even like, do you want to go into like research? Do you want to be content? Are you actually more interested in the coding and want to become like a UX developer? There's a lot of different ways that you can just explore a little deeper into this world of tech and UX by participating in here and working with so many great folks.
Yeah. So, we can actually move into like answering portfolio related questions as we promised. Yeah, and you're gonna actually see why the cohort like program would actually work if you want to build a cracked portfolio. So we'll see.
Correct.
Grace, lead it.
No cap, big facts. This is a really good question. How do we count metrics for student projects? It's like a student project, no real world data.
Yeah, I think I shared a little bit about it on the last portfolio review, but I think if you create something like a student project, take it to the real world. Like, it doesn't even matter that it's a student project, like people have to see it. And once you take it to the real world, to people around you, to your friends, maybe to somebody who could potentially be a potential user of this project that you created, get their feedback on it. Is it easier? Is it maybe solves a onboarding problem for them. Whatever it is, whatever problem you're trying to solve, make sure you document it from them, and then put that as a in your portfolio, as if this is what I created. I took it to the real users. This is what they said.
Sometimes, like, I feel like the usability testing can also give like some metrics if you ask the right questions. So if like you have like past projects that you want to level up, like try to look in more of a product sense. So be like, okay, if you did like this much usability testing, this is what like the metrics you can literally quantify that and add it. Yeah.
I think for one of my projects, I had a onboarding, and the company had just onboarding through like Notion, and then I created onboarding through their website. So basically, the way I documented it is, it took them somebody like 20 minutes to go through onboard, not 20, maybe like 10 minutes to go through onboarding. It was pretty complex on their on Notion, and then I made it into 5 minutes. Somebody could just say, I just redesigned the onboarding, but if you want to quantify it, you can quantify it through time. So I cut out maybe 15 minutes of somebody's onboarding or whatever, 5 minutes.
Yeah. On that, like, I think when we try to say like metrics and quantifiable data, yes, it'll be really nice to have like, oh, 2% of this and 15% of that. But sometimes as a student project, it might be a good chance for you to think about like, what did I do as an impact for this project? Like for the onboarding, you can use the time if you have that research of before and after, or you can say there were like 10 different steps and I was able to consolidate it into 6.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like 4 separate screens or like 4 separate cards were kind of found redundant or like not really helpful for the user, and it actually overloaded them to be like, oh my god, I got to click through all these. Then that is a way for you to say, hey, I simplified the user experience and I try to optimize the way that this information is given to users at this point of time. So yeah, metrics, think about it in ways to like, how do you make it make sense in numbers? How do you make sure that you're really showing that impact behind the work that you've done?
Mm-hmm.
I agree. Time saving and revenue generating. It all goes down to how do we give the business more money to like hire you, to better your to pay you.
More money for less time.
Yeah. All right. Ew. When crafting a case study, how do you balance what was actually? Let me see which other one was starred. Okay. A lot of questions here. When creating a case study, how do you balance what was actually developed, like real story limitations, constraints, versus what would have been better designed on user research? Yeah, because oftentimes in a real world setting, you have constraints, and it's not like a perfect world.
Mm-hmm. I'm actually a big believer in constraints. I think constraints tell about a story. I think like if like you have a student project, you can see that there's just no constraints. People can just go wild about it. And like if somebody is trying to hire, they understand it. They understand that, oh, that would not be possible in the real world. So I think having some constraints, a real story, and some limitations, it's actually in your favor. If there's a project that has that, you can spin it around and show how versatile you are as a designer. Here's what my limitations were, maybe technical limitations, maybe design limitations, maybe business limitations. And here's the constraints, and here's how I turn those limitations into still like a better product or the improvement. I think if you have that, that's your superpower. Just go full on it.
Just a quick note, like we have like 7 minutes left until the session ends. So if like any of our like representative like Manvi, Jenny, and Max are here, and Grace, you have any questions really resonate with you, can just like answer it directly inside the Fig Jam, so we don't have to highlight it outside. But yeah, that's it.
Would you recommend the Cohort for who have been in design for a little bit but had trouble landing a job?
It is literally for you guys.
Yeah.
Somebody asked about the scholarship opportunity, so I'll take like a moment to answer that first. We have a creator grant that we're gonna post info about it like in a moment, but it's basically you create diaries of your experience when you work within the cohort. Yeah, so there are scholarships available, and we'll have more info about that later.
What do y'all use to develop portfolio sites? There's so many sites now. But
Yeah.
what always like a popular question.
Mm.
Depends. If you really want to go custom, it's Webflow. Framer's cool. I go directly to Framer now when I build websites.
Mhm.
I skip Figma sometimes.
Yeah.
There's some Figma sites, but I heard it's really early stages. There's also like Notion. There's Squarespace. There's a lot. There's like a spectrum of how involved you want, how much time you want to take to make one, or code it from scratch too. But you can use templates. You don't need to code it from scratch.
Also, on that question, I would say like depends on what you prioritize with your skills, right? If you want to highlight your aesthetics, personality, really skill like hardcore UX stuff, you should definitely like use like Framer, Webflow. But if you like, I think like a UX research portfolio, you can like choose something more simpler like Notion, because it highlight your research skill more than like the actual visual design of it.
Mhm.
So any tool that help you actually complete your portfolio is the best.
Mhm.
Yeah, a great question, because I know a lot of people. It's really easy to like make your case study really long because you guys work really hard on a case study. But how do you balance your case study? How do you balance depth and analysis with conciseness on your case study? Anyone want to answer that one? Oh, it's my intro. Oh,
I feel like one thing you're going to hear a lot in UX is it depends. It depends on what you want to say. Like, what are you trying to do with this? Rapid fire, 30 seconds. Like, are you trying to say, like, I did all of these techniques? Say, like, I am such a good designer. I know all of these different things. Then try to make sure that you say, I am really versatile and I can apply to a lot of different situations. Or is it more like I want to be someone who's advocating for design? I want to be someone who is really talking about the user, and you bring in like user research, all of this testing, and how you improve that design from before and after with all of these like inputs. So, you can write everything. You can write a 10-page paper about how you went from 0 to 1, all of the different things you did as a multi-hat wearing person. But with your portfolio, with your case study, really be intentional. For example, AI is popping off right now. Everyone wants to get in it. Everyone wants to say, I'm an AI UX designer. But what are you really? Like, are you designing the conversational design of AI? Are you designing the actual ethics of AI? Or are you designing just like, how does it look and how do people interact with it, like ChatGPT's prompters? So rapid fire, just really think about like, what is your intention? What is your goal? What is your objective? And what do you want this recruiter to think about when they say, oh, like, Jenny did this. I really think she'll be really good for this kind of team or this kind of product space. And that really helps in big tech as well.
Mhm. I would probably also say, and Jenny, you may correct me if because I feel like you have more experience in that. I would say, for portfolio case study, what you want to do, you want to get yes from a recruiter, not necessarily from a hiring manager. And a hiring manager is somebody who would be interested in that deep analysis, understanding why you made those decisions. Typically, recruiters, they're looking, are you going to be a good investment for our company? Like, are you somebody who will bring the change or will do what we need them to do? So I think on that side, I'm probably more on the side concise but impactful. You have to highlight your value. You have to highlight who you are, what kind of ownership you had, what kind of decisions and why you made those decisions, and what kind of results you brought to the table.
Yeah, 100%. And one thing I would add is like I spoke to like so many designers when like last year when I was trying to get a job as well. And this one thing that left a lot of impact from one of my mentors, and she said, every element on your portfolio should mean something. Like there should not just be something for the sake of it being there. Everything should have a meaning. Everything should have a result. Everything should have an impact. Otherwise, take it out. Does not deserve to be there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I love my dogs, but I don't have them all over my portfolio except for like, if it's part of your personal brand, go ahead, but be really specific on what you want to do. And one thing, I worked at Indeed and I've been part of the recruiting process. I've been part of the UX recruiting process. It's super quick. Like it is so quick for people they're not judging you. They're not like saying like, oh, I don't like this. It's more so they want to be really quick about like, is there impact with this person? Do we get that investment value? Do we get that like match with what this team or this hiring manager has told the recruiter as we need this kind of person to help us with this kind of project?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and believe that. And the problem is, like, if you have a long analysis, you might have that impact, but it just takes so much effort to figure it out that it's just never going to happen in that amount of time.
Yeah. That's why I would say, like, always concentrate on your design decisions more than how you got there.
I agree. Yeah, we're basically at time, but there's still like 100 of y'all watching on LinkedIn. Is there any last words y'all want to share with our lovely buddies here today tuning in?
Yeah, I think we like kind of start like 5-6 minutes late. So anyone we're down to staying like 5 minutes overtime.
Okay.
So we can like
I'm
keep
down.
answering questions and stuff. Okay. You guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, tying back to like the impact while waiting for people to ask questions, right? I would say like the impact doesn't need to have to come from the metrics. It also comes from your support system, comes from your client, comes from what kind of product that you're designing. So yeah, do pay attention to that and like get it screened a lot and like test run, get roasted on your portfolio case study because that's how you know you're writing something good. So yeah, next question then.
Yeah, I agree. A
Really
lot of
good
people ask
question.
where can they get the portfolio roast. We'll do more again. So just stay tuned on our Discord, on our LinkedIn, on our Instagram, on our newsletter, and we'll be especially Discord, Design Buddies Discord, we'll be announcing these opportunities. But we'll take a couple minutes over to answer your lovely, beautiful questions. I'm gonna see what's happening in the chat. Oh, Prince. Oh, thank you, Prince. Prince is part of Cohort 18. If you guys have any questions about his experience, feel free to message him on LinkedIn as well. Prince Saley. Thank you, Prince. Okay. I feel like I saw a lot of people comment on their trauma dumps. I'm gonna highlight some of them. Not getting interviews, yeah, it sucks. Learning how to tailor, learning how to approach portfolio.
I think there's a lot of comments or like questions about like what do you highlight or what should you do for that case study or like what is that like main essence that you want to put in there. Speaking as a content designer, you know, content design and UX writing, we do a lot of different things, but depending on the team or the role that I'm trying to apply for, I change up my portfolio. Not like do a complete overhaul of it, but show different emphasis. Like maybe one project is like 10% ideation and 50% iteration and 10% like prototyping. Another one would be like 20% the first two and then 90% prototyping to show the team or like show the hiring manager that, yeah, I am, you know, well versed in that. I am like passionate and curious about that kind of thing. And I'm willing to put myself into like those situations or those kind of techniques or conversations. So for the feature, it's nice to do like the biggest, baddest, like the most popular one, but really think about it. Like think about which one actually made you showcase your skills.
This is an interesting question here. How do you balance looking for a job and freelancing on a portfolio? Do you guys have any thoughts about that?
Save receipts, save artifacts, save your iterations, and try to make your case study as you're working on the project itself.
Is this asking about like balancing the work life of looking for a job and working on your portfolio, or is it more like you're freelancing as a project? I'm curious like what the question's asking, because I think just find balance for yourself. You know, you don't have to rush to make the most perfect thing. You don't have to like do certain like deadlines of I have to get it done by this. Just give yourself grace and give yourself time, but also be very like structured in what you're trying to do. It's hard getting started on portfolio. Everyone dreads it. No one likes it. We do it because they want us to, and we just try to do what we can.
Maybe it's asking if, like, how do you display maybe case studies? If you're looking for a job, but you also do freelancing work, so maybe it's on the freelancing side, maybe clients want to take a look at your portfolio. But on the job side, maybe obviously the recruiters are looking at your job. So is there any difference in the way you present your portfolio?
I don't think there is. I think well, you know, your mileage may vary, but I think a project is a project and a project becomes a case study if you start at like providing more details and the analysis behind it. If you were doing freelance work, that's kind of like working as a contractor with an agency, something like that. You can be an independent person with these projects. So I don't necessarily think you have to say freelance. You can say like client, blah, 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 like whoever you work for or whatever that entity was.
That's actually a super good tip. I also see a lot of like freelancing. And then if you, instead of freelancing, you put the company, I think it has a little bit more weight, or feels like has a little bit more weight on the resume or also on LinkedIn.
Yeah, like in America, I think you would be like a 1099. It's like an independent contracting kind of for tax purposes as well. So you are working with that entity, and you can say like, you know, for example, I would say like Jenny, UX content, Meta. You could say like, you know, UX design at whatever it was.
Yeah. And it's also something to think about if you're thinking about cohort 20, right, the CoCreate. Like if you're in school, you might want to position this 4 months of experience as a internship. But then maybe if you're transitioning from one job or from something into product design, maybe you don't want to position it as an internship, but you want to position it as like contract work. So you also have that flexibility a little bit. How do you display what you have done, which also can like bring more impact to the work that you've done and help you out to transition faster.
Cool. Any other questions you want to quickly answer before we wrap up and share a bit about cohort 20? See some questions about that. Yes, I think I'll share the FigJam link again in case anyone missed it. But right now, after this, I'll send everybody a recording. The recording will also be on our YouTube. It is also live streamed there as well, with along the resources with the FigJam link and all the questions answered, and cohort 20. Thank you all for your time today. We would love to see you, I think, next week for our next portfolio review. So keep in touch on our Discord to be the first one to find out. Discord.gg/designbuddies. Design Buddies, CoCreate UXO. We're all the same team. So it's all the same. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
And yes, last words, anyone?
Yeah,
Would love to
we
see you on
can do
cohort
like a
20.
TLDR. Yeah, we can
Yeah.
do a TLDR. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. So a recurring question ties really well to cohort 20 is what make a case study good and something that people want to look at. So I would say like prioritize having a like product that is actually shipped or it's gonna be presented to real users in reality. So that's cohort 20. We essentially partner up with startup founders that will ship your products. So and then what else make a hero case study, Grace? Like we can kind of tie it to cohort 20 as well.
Yeah, like real world projects, as Min mentioned, high impact projects. I personally vet all these startups. There's a lot of noise out there in the startup world, but I'm very direct and cut through the BS. A lot of people are really good at smooth talking, but we really vet these startups to make sure that they're either like are in the capacity of hiring designers, because we also had a lot of designers who went through a program that got hired through all these startups. So they're usually VC backed, meaning they have budget to hire a designer. And I personally loved like y'all like I love like the CoCreate retreat. We actually hosted a retreat at the end of our cohort. A bunch of our students flew into Pacifica and SF, and we hosted our CoCreate conference on May 4th. And they got to demo their projects live in front of lots of founders, creators, designers, senior designers in San Francisco. We're gonna do bigger events coming up, so definitely apply. The retreat was part of like our last cohort, and that was like one of my favorite memories of the cohort stuff. So it was fun. All these like screenshots of all wonderful students are from the students at retreat who came, flew in, demoed their project in front of founders. It's a really fun time, and Leon, Hannah also put in so much effort to make sure y'all get really great merch, really great treatment. They're amazing. So we'd love to see y'all in our next cohort too. Cool. Any last words before we hippity hop?
Yeah, I would just want to encourage everyone, because I know product design journey can be rough and tough, and there's like there could be a lot of disappointment, and just keep going if that's that you believe in, and yeah, just surround yourself with people. Surround yourself, just get into community, of people who are pursuing the same thing. Obviously, for me, it became Cohort 20, but just find your people, because once you find your people, you're going to find connections that you need. You're going to be finding opportunities that you need, and you're going to be finding just the encouragement that you need for just sometimes can be a very long journey.
Y'all got this. Y'all 5 and 5 and slay and W's in the chat. All right. Should I end the stream?
Yeah. There's a hackathon going on. There's somebody asked like, when is Design Buddies hackathon gonna be in like the sticky note?
Bolt.new is hosting the world's largest hackathon. We're helping them break a world record. So hackathon.dev. It's free to join. There's over $1 million in prizes. Let me share my screen. They are cool. And it's like no code required. Like literally, like you can vibe. Bolt.new is one of my favorite vibe coding tools. It's free to join. Hackathon.dev, guys. You can register, try Bolt. It starts on May 30th. It's like a month-long remote hackathon. I believe they're also doing a lot of in-person events all around the world on May 30th. So join. It's help us be part of our world record. So you should join this hackathon. That's what you should do. That's our next one. Hackathon.dev. We love Bolt, and Bolt loves us, and we love you all.
Okay, I think we're good with.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone. W.
Yeah. See you next week
Bye,
if you
chat.
come back.
Bye, chat.